Hey everybody, this is Dharma. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be a whatever comes out reading for the sign of Gemini. Whatever comes out for the sign of Gemini. Time and energies are fluid. Apply them where they go. When I say energies, I mean kindred. Everyone's welcome. We don't utter anyone here. We keep, well, we can only control ourselves. Trying to control others is not only a fool's errand, it's also for sure a way to stay on the wheel of samsara, the wheel of karma, hence the wheel of the circle, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. So we want to switch it up and get different results. Now please get some messages. Thank you for the sign of Gemini. Messages, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini. Messages, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini. Messages, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini. Messages, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini. Please and thank you. Messages for the sign of Gemini. Messages, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini. Messages, please and thank you. Thank you. King of Swords reversed. Somebody's not standing in truth. Could be you, could be someone around you. Abuse of power, manipulation, coldness, lack of empathy. The Wheel of Fortune reversed. Gemini, is that you? Come on now. Resistance to change. Bad luck, stagnation. That's the wheel of karma. Somebody's under that wheel. They're not sitting on top of it in Dharma right now. Missed opportunity. But it could be someone around you. You just have to decide what you're going to do. If it's someone around you, if it's you can correct that. Someone around you, you might need to make your decisions for yourself, not for them, not how to manipulate them, not how to control them, but how you can direct yourself. Karma doesn't need our help. It needs our help for us. We can help our karma. We can advise people if we love them, but it's been my experience, most people don't want to listen unless it's the answer they're looking for. What else, please, for the sign of Gemini? What else, please, for the sign of Gemini? What else, please, and thank you for the sign? Thank you. I'm not going to read that card this way because somebody's under the wheel. This can be intense anxiety. That way you can release the anxiety. But you have to go within if this is you. But since somebody's not standing in authenticity and truth, and since somebody's under the wheel of karma, getting run over by that big old wheel, it looks like somebody's in extreme anxiety. A never-ending nightmare, worry, fear. We don't always like to admit that to ourselves. We like to be, on top of the wheel, and we certainly want everyone else to think we're on top of the wheel, and we don't like to admit how worried we are sometimes, even to ourselves. But we don't want to do any spiritual or emotional bypassing because that causes problems, physical, mental, emotional, relationships, work a lot of times. Just it can reach out so many tentacles. So we want to sit and look honestly at ourselves, and we need to talk through some things with a qualified professional. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. I wish that the United States had universal comprehensive health care, including dental, vision, mental. The high priestess. Somebody knows something intuitively. They're not saying anything. What intuitive insight are you ignoring? Yeah, something like that. That seems to apply with the way those other cards are falling. What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you, Gemini? Ancestor side, Holy Guardian Angels, Most High God, the Supreme Being. Thank you. The King of Wands. Oh boy, is that anatomy? Is that what it's called? I mean, wands just talk about passion, something that gets us moving, that makes us feel alive, but it can be a part of anatomy. It's not talking about being in control of your anatomical bit. It's talking about leadership, vision, entrepreneurship, confidence, passion. How can you use your vision and leadership skills to achieve goals? Do not manipulate, do not deceive. The devil reverse. Somebody, the way those other cards are falling, you can release yourself from the devil, but it looks like somebody is really in that devil. If we use our wand of passion correctly, it is without manipulation, without control, without using it as a drug, then maybe we can free ourselves from that devil. The chains are there loosely enough. The devil can represent contracts, work, addictions, temptations, materialism, the world reverse. Somebody's not closing a cycle. Incompletion, lack of closure, unfulfilled desires, disconnection. With that devil reverse and that world reverse, yeah, you gotta close a cycle, Gemini. I'm reading it for you. This is your reading, but it could be someone around you. But the way they fall with those other cards, you need to close the cycle. What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What are you trying to hold on to that you need to let go of? Might serve, people say let go of things that don't serve you, but maybe you're trying to hold on to something that serves you very well and doesn't serve someone else for a greater purpose. Thank you so much. Strength, bravery, inner strength, focus, courage, control. I keep saying it. People think that strength is overpowering or forcing others to do things. or being physically strong, but that's talking about controlling the inner beast. That's the inner beast. It can be the voices in our head, our fears, our desires, our passions, but he's not forcing that lion's mouth closed. He's just gently closing the mouth and hushing him up. And there it is. Yeah, I'm reading these cards right. The willingness to win at all costs. Sometimes it costs too much to win. Conflict, winning at all costs, betrayal, manipulation. What actions am I taking that are causing harm to myself or others, even if they appear successful in the moment? How can you harness your inner strength to overcome obstacles? These are talking about obstacles you're placing for yourself. You might think you're placing them for others, but be careful of, you might want to look up King Pyrrhus, the Pyrrhic victory, because that's what the Five of Swords talks about. Those other people are walking away. They didn't take their swords, they laid them down and walked away. It's not worth it. Maybe Gemini needs to take a lesson. What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? Sometimes we just need to take a long, hard, honest look at ourselves. Sometimes we might need a therapist to help us do that. A safe space, not your friends, because Lord knows what everybody else is doing might not be healthy. In fact, I'd say most of the world is profoundly sick. The Hierophant reverse. Unorthodox. Not conforming to tradition. Or not wanting to let go of tradition, conforming too much to what you think is expected. Or not conforming enough to what is expected. And sometimes it can be both at the same time, and maybe we just got it twisted on what we should be adhering to and what we shouldn't be. What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? Gemini messages, please and thank you. 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 That's a lot. Control, rigidity, abuse of power. Family, tradition, legacy, material wealth. This is the Emperor. He's reversed. He's not a leader. He's not a good leader. He leads others the wrong way. Rules with an iron fist, my way or the highway. Well, that's how you want to be, Gemini. People might choose the highway. I think that order, that the Emperor is trying to hold on to the way it's always been done in their family. Yes, reverse, refusing to undergo change and transformation, stagnating, fear of the unknown. It's going to happen either way if it needs to happen, Gemini, so you can make it hard or make it easy. A lot of times it could be literal, but usually it just wants us to die to self. Myself, sacrifice to myself. What Odin said, his worst self-sacrifice, his materialistic selfish self-sacrifice to his higher self. Yeah, I can't read that as new opportunities and gratitude and emotional renewal because Gemini is not wanting to go within. So they are really ignoring that hand of God, the hand of the divine, the hand of the higher self. But here's the Ace of Cups. So whether you go through that death, hard or easy, you'll be able to have a new beginning, new self-love, emotional clarity, and a spiritual awakening. And there's that Page of Pentacles giving you something tangible. Something tangible, a seed to plant. Hasn't been planted yet, but there's an opportunity for learning, exploration, focus, and practicality. It's not too bad. Gemini, make that transformation, make that dying to self easier on yourself. And I know sometimes that's, well, 9 times out of 10, it's a lot harder to do than it is to say. I know, I'm there too. Shit. You wouldn't believe what I had to do to experience my last best transformation. Excuse my mouth. I can't believe I said that on camera too. This is what you can work with. You know, my last reading got the exact same card in the exact same position. Angel in the reverse. They want you to look at this and really work on it. Acting innocent or angelic to mislead others, falsely claiming to be in touch with angelic guidance. It doesn't have to be angelic, it can just be divine. Even if that's, what you would call your genius self. But they want you to take a good hard look at that and try to bring that in the upright. What else, please, and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What other shadow attributes can Gemini work with as they work through these energies? What other shadow attributes, what other archetypes hidden in the shadow for Gemini work with? What else, please, and thank you for the sign of Gemini? What else, please, and thank you for the sign of Gemini? King reverse in the dark. Excessive feelings of entitlement. Rulership without restraint. All right, Gemini. We talked about that, and they want you to really look at that to make that dying to self. That's what they want you to work with to make it a little easier. They're asking you to bring that kingship in the upright so that it's not a selfish leadership, but a true leadership that benefits everybody. What else, please, and thank you? And if you can't do that, then set that part aside. Just don't be trying to rule with an iron fist, because it's not right to try to force other people to do what you want them to do. If you don't like it being done to you, why would you do that to anybody else? Well, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini. Any other attributes Gemini can look at in the shadow side as they work through these energies for their greater and highest good? Martyr in reverse. Addiction to self-pity. Anything else, please and thank you for the sign of Gemini? That's a lot, Gemini. We might let you go on that. We'll see. We'll shuffle a few more times and see if anything else comes out. But, I know a lot of Geminis. And some of them are pretty good people, and some of them are just pretty regular people. But we're all pretty regular people in our own ways. And we're all good people in our own ways, and we're all not good people in our own ways. So this is just saying don't focus on everybody else. focus on you. Don't worry about what everybody else's sins are. Worry about what you need to fix. And be honest with yourself, because you can't fix it if you're scared to look at it. What else, please and thank you, for the sign of Gemini? Can we get a light shadow, please? Something in the light that Gemini can work with, please and thank you. They want you to work on serving humanity with humility. Well, maybe if you're willing to undergo this big ego death and work with these dark shadows, maybe you really can serve humanity with humility. In other words, not for reward or praise, no expectation. You might get the reward and praise and you might not, but you have to be happy with it anyway. Because that's what a real Messiah does. Thanks so much for joining me, Gemini. I got faith in you. You can do this.